Hey folks, this is Monk, and we are back with another episode of From the KDB Film Show, and I'm joined as always with my co-host Cornelius, aka Evil Corny.
Hey, what's up?
Got a lot of reviews for you guys today, so let's get into it. And the first one I'm going to start with is a film called It Feeds. In this film, a clairvoyant therapist confronts her own personal demons while trying to save a young girl who believes a malevolent entity is feeding on her. And this film is directed by Archibald. And we've got an interesting cast here. We've got Ashley Green, Sean Ashmore, Shaylin Martin, Juno Rinaldi, Julian Richings, and Christina Beth Hughes are featured in this film. So what did you think about this, Cornelius?
Overall, I just thought this was a bit of an okay film. It's no real like new ground was covered, but it is somewhat entertaining. It kind of gave me parts of it kind of gave me like Lifetime movie type vibe. It is a small, low budget film, but it felt like TV ish in a way. Basically, it kind of hits the beats of pretty much a Lifetime movie in a way. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I just thought it was okay. It's worth seeing actually Green in something, but her and Sean Ashmore, both of them acted well. But like I said, it kind of glad I didn't see this in a theater. But it was worth like seeing on Hulu. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It passes the time, but it's like I said, it's no new
Kind of
like Prince
forgettable.
Brown or whatever. It's overall Lifetime ish type movie that we're dealing with on this.
Next one I'm going to talk about is this film called The Mastermind, and I saw this actually yesterday. No, actually Monday night. It was the mystery movie at AMC for their Screen Unseen, and the film is directed by Kelly Reichardt. And in 1970, Mooney and two cohorts wander into a museum in broad daylight and steal four paintings. While holding onto the art proves more difficult than stealing them, Mooney is relegated to a life on the run. And this film stars Alana Haim. She has a small role in here as James Mooney's wife, played by Josh O'Connor. We've also got Hope Davis, John Magaro, Gabby Hoffman, and let me see who else is in this. It pops up quite a significant role. Yeah, I think those are going to be our main people. But film is kind of a mixed bag for me. I definitely enjoyed it. So there's a bit of a heist in the beginning. Um, but it's a mixed bag overall. So what happens is our character here, he's a art thief. He steals paintings and sells them, the black market. So in this one, it's kind of set up as if he's been, living his life for a while, but he's also had some mishaps along the way. And it's kind of impacting his relationships, including with his wife and all that, and his extended family and stuff. But what's interesting in this film, he seems to be pretty good at this stuff, planning it out and getting all the details down. But for some reason, he just got bad luck. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
It's like the plan is cool, but you can't control what's going to happen, such as a police officer deciding to take a lunch break in the parking lot of the art museum you're about to rob. Things like that are going out of whack. So, it starts off, it's pretty interesting. But I will say this, man, maybe about a third through, it started to kind of bog down, and it gets to a point it's like I feel like it gets a little bit repetitive to it in some of the stuff that it's doing. But for the most part, I actually enjoyed, the heist was kind of cool when that went down. But then I think once we get to the part where he's on the run, that's when this film kind of just it seems a little bit indecisive on where it wants to go and how it wants to handle this material. I think one of the main themes about this is that his actions have greatly impacted the people around him, and that's very apparent in the very beginning before he even gets to the heist. But then it's like the rest of the film spends a lot of time just reiterating that versus getting to another, it feels like it's just a bunch of setup that doesn't pay off. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
if this
yeah.
was a music, you got things that are building up and getting to a bigger movement or bigger swing, and I don't think it ever gets to that. And it's interesting because this film has a really deliberate pacing, like to the point. There's a sequence in here where he's basically stole the paintings, man, and he's stashing them in his barn, and it's kind of crazy because as it's happening, I was kind of into it, but you see him grab each painting, he's got to hide them in this barn, and he's climbing up the ladder, taking each one out of the box individually. It's actually showing every bit of this, and I was like, this is interesting. I feel like in another film, you would have just got the keyframes and they moved on, but and it's fine for this scene, but then there's a couple other scenes where there's kind of giving you that same pacing, and I'm like, wow, okay, it was cool the first time, but now you got me kind of watching a watch. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like when you look at a film like Thief, and you're showing him drilling into the safe, and he's messing with all this machinery, but it doesn't
Mhm.
have the cool music and the camera angles that Thief had. So you're just sitting there watching this
Yeah,
stuff go down.
Dream makes a big difference in a film.
Yeah, you're just watching this stuff go down in like absolute quiet, and it's just like, okay, like wow, But another thing too that kind of got me is just the conclusion, man. It just ends kind of abruptly. You know what I'm saying? So I did have this thing a lower rating when I was in my letterbox, but as I was writing my reviews, something stood out to me, man, and I think that was an interesting point that made me give it a half star more. And I was like, by the end of this, we're kind of becoming him in a way where we're thinking there's still hope and there's still a way out of this rather than just, yo, dude, like just accept your fate, take your wounds and go on with your life. You know what I'm saying? But we're so caught up, we actually start to think like him. And maybe that was what this film was trying to do, put us into this character's mind state. And I think it kind of did a good job, at least for me, which made me like I said, when I realized as I'm writing my write up, I'm like, oh snaps, that did kind of happen. So I gotta give this filmmaker a little bit of props for pulling that out in the film. But overall, I think it's worth watching, and different people are going to get different stuff out of it. I think if you are a viewer that's really impatient, you're probably going to get less out of it than someone who is more patient. And I thought I was pretty patient because there were some people, other reviews I'm reading, and they were like, "Oh, like I'm like, yo, it wasn't that bad. Come on, son."
I,
you know,
Overall, with me, I probably wouldn't see this because this director made the movie First Cow,
hmm yeah.
and I was highly annoyed by that film when that came out.
I haven't seen that, but I did see that on their resume. But this
Yeah,
one,
it was like pre-COVID, or we kind of might have. I don't know if Bob had reviewed it back
mhm,
then or not, but I came back around and watched that film, and I just thought it was horrible. Or I might have talked about it years ago, and it
mhm,
was,
mhm.
I just thought it was like overrated, like
I did see people talking about it. I never watched it, but I think this was pretty solid. Just that it's flawed. Like I said, I liked it, but it's also has some flaws that I could see where, people's criticisms are valid. But it does have some pretty dark humor too, man. Because there's times where you're just looking at him trying to do stuff, and when you see, I'm like, oh man, this ain't gonna go good, dude.
uh,
That I don't listen to chuckle, or you see some of the reactions from some of the other characters. And it is kind of interesting too that it is kind of a 70s style film. So there's a little bit of a period piece into it. But I don't know. It's out there, man. So, I would never tell anyone to stay away from something. Check it out and see it for yourself and let me know what you think about it in the comments. But yeah, so that was the look, what's the name of that again? I'll just close it. Yeah, the Mastermind, and I think that's kind of a play on things because like in a perfect world, this guy is great, but and calling him the mastermind is even kind of making fun of him because everything he plans just runs into the worst luck ever, man, and just a victim of timing and stuff like that. It's terrible.
the only thing, I kind of want to ask you is, do you think that you were expecting Black Phone 2 to be like the mystery movie of this week before you went to the theater?
No, I didn't. No, no,
Okay.
I didn't. I
I
didn't
just,
think
I
that.
just,
I
I just,
actually saw. Usually, the people because I go to the Reddit subgroup, and they've been pretty damn accurate at guessing what was what. Like I knew this was going to be Master, or I had a. I haven't. They haven't been wrong yet, dude. Since I've been going there and looking to see what was coming out, and they said it was going to be the Mastermind, and I looked up some information on about it, and I was like, all right, let's go see what this is going to do.
okay.
So yeah, so that didn't I wasn't expecting anything else when I saw this one. So So next one is going to be a film called Tron Ares. And I guess it's the latest in the what is now the Tron trilogy. So in this film, mankind encounters AI beings for the first time when a highly sophisticated program, Ares, leaves the digital world for a dangerous mission in the real world. And this is directed by Joachim Roning. And the film stars Jared Leto, Greta Lee, Evan Peters, Cameron Monaghan is also in this, Sarah Darsh-Jardins, Gillian Anderson, Jason Tremblay, Jodie Turner-Smith. I think these make up our main characters.
I wanted to like this movie more than I did, but I did
Mhm.
have fun with it. I did see it in 3D. Overall, I just thought this film was middling. I know a lot of people hate Jared Leto. I think he did pretty decent in this film. It was worth seeing in 3D. A lot of nice effects and everything, but it's not much of a story that's really going on this. I do like Tron Ares, not Tron Ares. I do like Tron Legacy a little bit more than I like this one. But one thing I will say about this film is Nine Inch Nails does the soundtrack, and we're full of sound this whole film. And the soundtrack is, to me, is worth seeing a film for. You know
Okay.
what I'm saying?
All right, yeah, it's weird. I see mixed bag. Some people I follow, they loved it. Other people were like,
And,
so.
Gillian Anderson was in it, and she's kind of wasted in this film. I kind
Mhm.
of thought that she would be having a bigger role in this, but it was, it
Okay.
was just present. Yeah.
So it probably would have been better if she was actually wasted in the
I know, but
film. Like if she had too many drinks.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
just
but she
bad
yeah,
joke time, man. But
yeah, very, very dad jokish. You when she shows up in a film, you kind of expect more. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
The soundtrack is good. It have a lot of nice effects in it, but it's just not like a million story.
Yeah, it's got 60 million worldwide, so it's
Okay.
not bad for opening for them. All right, let's get into this next one. So my next one is going to be a film called Beast of War. And interestingly enough, this is my second shark movie this year, and my second shark movie from Australia, and my second shark movie that I thought was pretty decent. So this film is interesting. Is during World War II, a Japanese fighter sinks an Australian warship in the Timor Sea. Clinging to a makeshift raft, a handful of soldiers soon find themselves in a desperate fight for survival as a great white shark circles in the waters. Directed by Kia Roche Turner, who also did a film that I liked from a couple years ago called Sting. Yeah, actually that was 2024. He did the film Sting about the spider from outer space. That was kind of a fun film. But our cast in this, we've got Mark Cole Smith, Aswan Reed, Lee Haley, Sam Delich, Maximilian Johnson, and Joel Nankervis in this, as well as Tristan McKinnon. But it's a small cast, it's a small story, it's a low budget film. Comes in pretty short too, about an hour 27 minutes. So this is kind of it's based on a loosely based on a true story about a ship that did sink. During World War II. It's not the USS Indianapolis, but in a similar way, this crew was out adrift at sea, waiting to get rescued, and they had to fend off some sharks and stuff at times. So this is kind of loosely based on that, but it's a pretty cool setup, man. Like I was in on this, man. We get a little bit of setup in the beginning. There's a scene with our guys training. You kind of getting to know them, and then suddenly, boom! As they're traveling, the ship gets attacked and blown up, and next thing you know, they're in the water on this makeshift raft. And pretty quickly, a shark just swims in and starts going at these guys. And this is a monster shark, man. It's big and it's not playing no games because some of these guys are wounded. So there's blood dripping in the water. And what makes it interesting is, they kind of know that someone's going to come, to try to rescue them just because, you're not reporting in, you're not checking in. So, of course, they're going to think something's happening. But they're also this big wall of fog kind of settles into the area, which makes visibility terrible. Like they actually run into another group of soldiers on a raft, and they barely like if it wasn't for sound, that they probably would have slipped right past each other, man. That's how low the visibility is.
Oh,
Plus, you've
okay.
also got this shark. in the water. And on top of that, there's like enemy air patrols that are still flying through the area. You know what I'm saying? Looking to, take shots at any anything they see moving in the water. But I thought it was pretty solid, man. The tension is solid. Actors do a good enough job. The shark itself looks pretty good. They went with a practical effect, and it kind of reminds me of the Bruce shark from Jaws. You know what I'm saying? In a way, except for some reason, man, they were pretty good at the angles that they got on the shark because it's kind of a. I mean, the budget concerns is my guess, but you don't get a whole lot of full bodiness. So when you get the shark, it's peeping up at the edge of this raft, grabbing someone,
Yeah.
taking them in, or there's shots where they're in the water with it, and trying to evade it. But I thought it was decent, man, for what it was, man. I think I gave it about a 3.5 on my rating. I think I do like the other shark movie a little bit better than this. The um Fear Below, just because I think it had more elements going on instead of just being this singular situation. Because with that one, you've got, the stuff with the gangsters and the divers and the shark. And this one is just these sailors and this shark. And it's solid, man. It goes by pretty fast. It doesn't pretty much overstay its welcome. It does try to get a little bit like meta, I think, toward the end and get into the head of one of these soldiers, like he's having regrets from something that happens in his past, and they throw a couple of shots in there. I was like, yeah, he could have left that out, but it's not terrible enough to distract it, and it comes to a pretty satisfying conclusion. But yeah, I had a good time with it, man. It's out now. You could rent it digitally. I was hoping it was going to get a theatrical release here, but if it did, it was very limited because I didn't even, you know, I don't think anything around here was playing it.
Okay, yeah, I was going to ask you where you
Yeah,
saw
so
it
you can
there.
rent it right now on all the digital rental places. It's out there. Voodoo, you got your iTunes and all that stuff. So they've all got it available for rental if you want to see it. But I do have a feeling too, this will probably get picked up by one of these streamers as well. But Australia's not doing bad, for these kind of films. I mean, if you add in these two shark films and then the Primitive War, like they're going through like a really, I like what they're doing over there right now.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so our next one is going to be a film called Vicious. And this film was directed by Brian Terbertino. And in this film, Polly receives a mysterious box that comes with instructions to place three things inside: something you need, something you hate, and something you love. What begins as a strange ritual quickly unravels into a waking nightmare. She becomes trapped in a terrifying world where reality bends and memory betrays. As time slips away, she must confront the darkness not just around her, but within her before it consumes everything and everyone she's ever known. And this film stars Dakota Fanning. We've also got Catherine Hunter, Devin Nakota, Rachel Blanchard, Mary McCormack, Karen Cliche, and Clea Scott in this as well. So, what'd you think of this, man?
Overall, I liked it a lot. The surprise is didn't make theaters. It's Paramount Plus exclusive or whatever. Well, it's streaming on Paramount Plus. Went straight to video, but I think Dakota Fanning did a real good job. And I've seen the film The Box, but I'm trying to think of what this film reminds me of because I think I've seen something like this. To not know what's going to happen in a film, I was kind of satisfied with this a lot. It goes through some twists and turns, but I thought
Okay.
this was a very good made film. And I was looking at the director. I think he came up with the original Strangers back in the day. But The Dark and the Wicked is like one of my favorite films that I've seen in the last year. Horror films I've seen in the last year. It's on Shutter right now. He
Mm-hmm.
directed that. Um, there's a film called Monster that's on that should be on Shutter right now from 2016, and I thought that was a good film. So this, I was just surprised at this. And both of those other films were like low budget independent type films that showed up on streaming. But he hadn't, other than the Strangers, he hadn't had a real big feature film, theater wise feature film. But I thought this was well made film.
All
It
right,
actually
that's
scared the
what's up.
crap out of me. Being in the house with my, living alone and everything. I'll put it like that.
That's what's up, man. So my next film is a film called Lurker, and in this film, a retail employee infiltrates the inner circle of an artist on the verge of stardom. As he gets closer to the budding music star, access and proximity become a matter of life and death. And it's directed by Alex Russell, and the film stars Theodore Perlin as our Lurker. We've also got Archie Madikwe, who plays Oliver, who's the artist in this film. We've also got Zach Fox in this, Havana Rose Liu, Sonny Soljic, and Daniel Zalgardi this also pops up in this. And there's a couple other players that play part of this musician's entourage, but this was a surprising film to me. First of all, I think the concept is not anything new. I think we've seen stuff like this in film like The Fan or any of these other kind of stalker kind of things. But I think what's cool about this, it kind of mixes, our current social media, that comes into play and just stuff that's going on in here, especially the acting, man. I think everybody does a grade A job, but it's really weird how you see how this character finds a way as an insider, man. It's kind of crazy because the artist actually comes into a shop one day and and he's kind of hanging back nonchalant while the other workers and fans in the store, they're all, huddled around this guy. And it's crazy because he's in there shopping and he said, "Hey man, y'all put some music on or whatever." Like, so the guy, this is his moment because he stalks this guy, incessantly, so he knows what this guy's tastes are. So he plays a song and he's like, "Oh, I didn't expect you to come up with this," and they get to talking and he actually invites this guy to come hang out at a show, and he uses that as an opportunity to get even closer and closer. And eventually he starts doing video work for this guy, man. But it's really crazy because you start seeing the way that he's moving in a way. He gets in, with this group, and suddenly he starts pushing out the other people that are already there, setting them up, tripping them up, making it look like, oh, you forgot something. Like one of the guys, he disconnects his batteries off the charger. So when they go to the video shoot, all of a sudden his camera dies, but conveniently, hey, I've got my camera. Why don't we use mine? Little stuff like that, man. And it's really wild seeing how this guy like gets in here. It's nuts, man. It's a wild character arc and a lot of crazy stuff that's happening. And honestly, for this to be a film, this is one that I feel like is very realistic, man. I think there are people out there, a lot of them, especially these days, that move like this. You know what I'm saying? It's not good enough that they are get in and become part of something, but they also, instead of becoming a part of the team, they start looking at the rest of the team as competition, and then they're trying to get rid of them. It's like, yo, you can't shine brighter than me. It's kind of crazy, man. And I think it all circles around and culminates into I guess one of the ideas that is brought up is the fact that they are all vying for favor from this artist. You know what I'm saying? It's their duty and their livelihood is dependent on carrying favor with this guy. You know what I'm saying? However they got to do, whether they got to throw someone else under the bus during the entourage, because there are a couple guys in here. You're like, what do these guys do? Other than just maybe you might run to the store for this guy here and there, but he could do that on his own. Other than that, it just looks like you're just keeping him company, and he has a manager. I think that's Rose Hughes' character, and she's probably the one that's the most, booking flights, making sure he makes appointments and scheduling things and that. So she's probably the closest thing to a manager out of the group. He's got his videographer, and those people are really like essential. But some of the other ones, you're just like, what do you guys do? What are you
Yeah,
here for?
that's one thing you kind of see in these type of films is
Hmm.
you never see anybody take down a whole lot of entourage. Is that if that's what you're kind of saying?
Hmm.
Majority they just you know you never just see this in a film or whatever. That's probably how it would be
Yeah.
done in real life or whatever. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
Yeah. That's one thing. Yeah, you're right. Because they're usually blending in, and as the name implies, just lurking, trying to fit in
Yeah.
and not get kicked out. But this guy's just he goes about it in a whole different way, man. And by the end, that might be my only complaint, though. I do think the conclusion of it is a little bit like Damn. But then again, it makes you think a little bit. I probably would have wanted a different ending, but that's not a knock on the film. That's just me making a choice that what I would rather have seen than what they did. But overall, man, this is a really good film, dude. Like I was surprised, man. Like I had saw some people buzzing about it and all, and sometimes that could be just a simple glimpse that somehow gets triggered when I see the name come up again. Like once I'm looking at the AMC and they're like, "Oh, Lurker's playing." Then I might get a flashback of some quote that I saw on Twitter saying, "Yo, this film was good." And I was like, "Oh, okay, this is playing." And once again, it's one of these small things, and I feel like, all right, I might have a week where this thing will be in the theater. So if I want to see it in the theater, I might as well go now. And maybe push something that has a wider release that I know. Like I could go see. I know something like One Battle After Another is probably going to be running for a whole month. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? So I gotta go and catch the smaller film while I can, and then catch the bigger stuff, later. So sometimes it's a juggling act, especially because I do
What?
definitely do prefer to watch stuff in the movie as much as I can, in the
What?
theater.
Where did you see this at? You saw this screaming, or you saw
I
it?
saw it on AMC. Yeah, I
Okay,
went to like I said, it had a show, and I was surprised that it was playing near me, and it was in the smallest theater in the building, like a 24 seat
wow.
room in that thing, something like that, man. So yeah, I felt
Yeah.
like I call that theater the closet, yo. Sometimes you got to go see something in the closet.
That's your annual event room. Like if you're having a birthday party there, instead of getting
Hmm.
the whole theater, you get a
Yeah, I
small.
think that's probably the first option. If you want to rent out a theater, they'll send you to that one unless you
Yeah,
got like a bigger and you could prove that you need like the 50 seats or whatever the hell.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
that's probably big money to get one of those. And I don't think there's gonna be a lot of slots to get one of those, man. Like you're not getting the IMAX. You're gonna have to probably come out like a $1,000 or something you know what I'm saying? To
yeah,
get
yeah.
the like that's crazy. Um but yeah,
Yeah,
man,
I
Lurker
see
was
where
good, dude.
it's streaming on Movie. So
Oh,
I
okay,
didn't.
okay,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. You can watch it there. I don't. What's movie? Is that free streaming, or do you got to pay a membership to get to movie? Or
I think you have to pay a membership because it's like a Prime Video channel or whatever.
oh,
But
okay,
I know
okay,
that's.
okay.
I remember last year that was the only way you could see, or earlier this year. Well, I guess last year that's the only way you could see Substance.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that was
Ah,
one.
okay. Yeah, that's interesting, man. Because I wonder if they have it on like if you can rent it from
You can get it from
um.
Prime. You can get it from Prime also for like $19. But
Oh, okay, yeah, 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 yeah. You can rent it in other places. So I
yeah.
guess all right. So if you do have the movie membership, you can watch it there. So that's interesting because there was something else I just watched. Yeah, yeah. What's the name? Was a movie film. The the Mastermind.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was also in the credits as that was coming on. You know.
Okay.
Yeah. But let's get into this next one, man. So the next one was also a mystery movie, and I think this one is actually out this week. So yeah, it's out now. So if you want to check it out. Yeah, The Roofman. So this was a mystery movie. So I saw this last Monday. And this film is a true story, based on a true story. So after escaping from prison, former soldier and professional thief Jerry Manchester finds a hideout inside a Toys R Us, surviving undetected for months while planning his next move. However, when Jeffrey falls for a divorced mom, his double life starts to unravel, setting off a, compelling and suspenseful game of cat and mouse as his past closes in. It's directed by Derek Cianfrance, and I don't know anything else I could think of that this guy worked on. I have to look up, or maybe you can check that out in the background for us. But it's also starring, we got Channing Tatum, who plays Jeffrey Manchester, our Roofman, Kirsten Dunst, Peter Dinklage, Juno Temple, Lakeith Stanfield, Lily Collius, Emery Cohen, and Ben Mendelsohn. And these are going to be our main people in this. So, oh, we also got Uzo Aduba pops up in this as well. But for the most part, man, this thing really surprised me, dude. Like, I saw some people buzzing about it because, like I said, man, the people who have been guessing these mystery films, they've been pretty good. So then I looked into, what people were saying about it, and they were generally positive, but I was not prepared for how good this film was, man. Like this thing, like it's like the perfect role for Channing Tatum because he's kind of got this. like when you're looking at the 21 Jump Street, he could play like that goofy guy, at times, and he gets serious when he has to, but also, man, he's digging deep in this thing, man, pulling out some real emotions, especially later in the film. Because what happened? This is based on a true story. So they call him Roofman because he started breaking in McDonald's, So he's breaking in McDonald's in this area. I think in different parts of the country. He would go out and spread around. But this particular film at this time period takes place mostly around North Carolina, like in the Charlotte area, in that I think Mecklenburg County or whatever. So he was going in through the roofs, and the first time he did it, he realized like, yo, all these McDonald's are pretty much laid out the same, so I could do this wherever. So he just starts branching out, going up, so much so that he becomes called the Roof Man. The only reason they caught him was I think one of the employees seen him running away in a certain direction, and then the police ran after him and got him, and he did some prison time. So, crazy enough, he breaks out of prison, goes on the run again, ends up breaking in through the roof of this Toys R Us, bro. Does this? This is crazy, man. This guy lived in the Toys R Us for 6 months, man, and it was so wild. He's living in the Toys R Us. I guess he would sneak out at night, or go out in the daytime. At one point, man, he makes a relationship with this woman from this church group. So he's going out to date this woman. She's got kids. He's living a relationship, like having like living like a life. It's crazy, man. So it goes on from there, man. But this film is funny, man. It's like it's got like really emotional moments in there, especially because he's dealing with family stuff and all kinds of craziness. And it's funny too because Peter Dinklage is like the manager of this Toys R Us. And he's like, hey, he runs up on one of his employees, like, hey, man, we're missing a bunch of M&Ms. You wouldn't know anything about that because he's living off of what's in the store. And so it's like,
I saw that in the trailer.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like a bunch of candy and stuff, man. But it's crazy because it's wild funny, man. But the craziest part to me is when you get to the end of this film and you get the montage of the real life him and the movie him, and I'm like, it blew my mind away at like how much of this story is so strange. You think that it had to be fiction, that it was really real. You know what I mean? You're like,
How many years ago did this happen in real life?
I think, let me see. It wasn't that long ago, man. I think, let me see. Um, he was a spree robber. Let me see. When the main times that they got, yeah, so they were saying from like 97 to 2000 and then from 2004 to 2005. So these were the times where he was, kind of doing this thing. So yeah, he was sentenced to 45 years in prison in the year 2000. So I think that explains that gap. He
Okay.
escaped after serving 4 years. So between 2004 and 2005 is mainly when the meat of this movie takes place.
Okay.
That time that he's in the
Toys R Us.
yeah, and the crazy part is, so Lakeith Stanfield plays another character in here, so he's kind of on a timer. And for some reason, Lakeith is this guy that can facilitate these papers and stuff for him. And Lakeith is like, hey man, you gotta call me back in, this amount of time. So he's basically trying to wait out to where he can, get his papers and flee and get all the documents and stuff. But you gotta watch to see what happens, man. But
Okay.
but this story, it blew my mind, dude. Like I said, man, I'm watching this thing. It's kind of pushing about 2 hours runtime, but it goes by, dude. I was fully engaged from the moment it started, man. And like I said, man, there's just some really good performances and really a fun time had, man. I was totally surprised at how good this came out. I definitely would watch it again, man. In a heartbeat.
Okay.
No, and it's crazy too because it's one of these films like this cast is stacked, but I feel like some movies when you get a cast like this, there's a need to give everybody a super significant role or an important scene or just like and there's not to say that they're not doing a great job, but even Dinklage, he doesn't have no crazy monologue or nothing. He's just a guy. He just happens to be the manager of this store, and it's just like, wow, that's awesome. You know what I'm saying? And everyone is like that because Kirsten Dunst actually plays the woman he meets from the
Okay.
church. So we see that whole romance go down, and it's a fun time, man. I definitely had a good time watching this, man. One of my best, um, you know, film experiences in the past few months, for
Okay.
sure.
It's good
And
to see
I,
Dinklage and stuff though, because he's like one of my favorite actors. Just
hmm
and when he's just having fun in a film, like
yeah,
is in a film called Lord of Badassdom, that from
hmm
years ago, and it's just to me getting him in that part was just just amazing, and he's
hmm
actually Toxic Avenger right now too.
yeah, I gotta watch that
I gotta
still,
watch. I
man.
gotta. Yeah, I gotta watch that at some point.
Yeah, because this is out, man. It's out there now. I gotta go in and get that off my list and check it out. But yeah, man. So far, I've just been kind of watching old stuff and new stuff, and just trying to just keep watching stuff. I don't do the whole. I'm just watching the horror thing because it's just too much stuff, and I feel like if I did, I'm gonna just get kind of burnt out just watching
Yeah,
horror
I've
film.
been I did watch a documentary a couple of days ago called Alabama's Solution.
Hmm
Um, and it's about prison system in Alabama. And I'm actually in
mm
Alabama, and it starts off with like one of the inmates getting beaten to death,
mm
and it just goes through like just the standards. I mean, living conditions and with some of these prisoners in this state.
hmm
It's kind of a messed up situation.
Yeah. Speaking of documentaries, there is a one I want to check out right now too. I think it just came out. It's about John Candy.
I saw that. I did see
Okay.
that. I'll wait until next episode so we can talk about it. If
Yeah, I think that's on Prime Video right
it
now.
is.
So yeah, I'm gonna check that out. He was one of my favorites. Yeah, so but yeah, I've been just trying to keep busy watching. I've been going through the catalog on I love Tubi now, man. Like they've got just a deep well of just old like horror movies, man. Like just old movies, period, man. I think that's one knock that I could have against a bunch of these streamers now. Like when you look at Hulu, maybe Disney Plus is different because they have their whole stuff going back to like the 50s and 60s, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But like Netflix doesn't really have a deep old film catalog. HBO, they got a little bit of stuff on there. I did watch the original High and Low. Um Kurosawa version, so that was kind of cool.
Well,
But
that's just because they got that deal with Criterion,
hmm
because that yeah.
yeah,
But
yeah,
it's a lot of Warner Brothers films to where that you'll find on Tubi. Like it's one called Quick Change that has I think that's the first film that Bill Murray directed. That was only,
hmm
a couple of years ago. That was the only place I could find that to watch it is on Tubi because I don't even
yeah,
think I don't even think I could have rented it from Apple or whatever.
hmm
If it was like a high price for that rental, and that
yeah,
film's like out of print and everything right now. So
hmm yeah. And I'm like, at first I was thinking, it's like I would give Tubi a couple dollars to get rid of the commercials, but then I thought, like,
yeah,
why? Like
wow,
I think we should have that option too, man. As
yeah,
annoying as they are, but I think that kind of TV should exist still. Where you don't gotta pay anything. Philo, I've been checking out stuff on there because we just did Crocodile Dundee. No, not Philo, Pluto. And we
oh
just did
yeah,
Crocodile Dundee, and they were the only ones on the classic cinematics, and they were the only ones that had it streaming. So I watched that. They had all the parts of it. I had some little bit of commercials, but you can still watch the film in its entirety. But yeah, a lot of these premium streaming services that you're paying money for, they don't really go into their back catalog that deep, even though they do have access to these films. Like if you look at a Paramount Plus, like which has a long history of making films, and a lot of the stuff past, before the 70s and 80s is not even on there. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? And
yeah.
that's kind of crazy. Like, dude, like, what are we paying you for? You know? Yeah, and I think that some of these should definitely embrace that, but I don't know, man. Maybe their algorithm told them that people want to watch new stuff, but you'd be hard pressed to find a film on Netflix that was made before like 1990, dude. You know what I'm saying? Even 80s films is hard to find on there.
I'm still wondering why. Two things. I don't understand
Hmm
why we don't get more Columbia Picture stuff on Netflix because they have like some kind of deal with Sony because
hmm
majority of the, like if a Sony film has been in theaters and it's gonna show up on Netflix or it shows up on HBO. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I don't know what they only got, but at the same time, I kind of wonder why we don't go back several years with Sony films on Netflix.
Yeah, so hold up. Does I don't know. Maybe they want to keep that thing going. Maybe they a company that's just leasing their films out to everybody. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
Sony pretty much. If you look at something that's Sony based, it's going to show up on Netflix
Mm-hmm.
even before it probably come out on video. I mean on
Mm.
physical media, it'll show up because that's how like I know you saw Gran Turismo
Uh-huh.
that
Yeah.
went directly, and I still hadn't watched that film, but
That's
that
good,
went
dude.
directly on Netflix, and the one I watched one a couple of days ago called Until Dawn or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That's one I think you might have talked about it a couple of weeks ago, but
Yeah, I didn't
saw
see
that a
that one
couple of
yet.
nights.
Yeah, I know what you saw. Yeah, I didn't see it yet, but I know exactly
Okay,
what you're
yeah.
talking about. Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, that's gonna be on my probably next week. I'll talk about it next week. But that's one that went directly on Netflix from from video. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
No, that's cool, man. Hold up. I'm trying to see. Is this our guy as Archie Madikwe? Yeah, I think this guy that's in Gran Turismo, he's in Lurker. Yeah, that's crazy. So the
Okay,
kid
okay.
who
Weird
plays
I
the
brought that up
driver in Gran Turismo, he plays the artist Oliver in Lurker.
then. Okay. It's
Yeah.
weird I brought that up then.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's crazy, dude. But yeah, man, I don't know. I just been trying to go back and fill in my back catalog, or even watching stuff that I know is going to be trash. Like, because sometimes I like watching some of these old, really bad horror movies just to see how crazy it's going to get, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'll just have it on in the background, kind of half paying attention and have checking it out. But yeah, just to fill in those gaps, man, and
Yeah,
be entertained.
I've been listening to El Goro's 31 Days of Halloween. And I pretty much forgot to listen to I mean I pretty much forget that like kaiju monsters are actually, horror based or whatever. So at some
Yeah,
point I
in a
think next
way.
year I'll probably watch War of the Gachu ones or whatever.
hmm
Yeah.
Yeah, in a way. I did just watch recently, like maybe a month or two ago, Godzilla vs. Biolante. I think that was one of the more recent looking ones that, he's still in the suit, but
Okay.
let's see, because I think they just remastered that and put it out. Yeah, that one's from '89. And the
Okay.
fight's just
Yeah, that's not in the
crazy.
box set. That's not in the Criterion box set I have, or that big ass book that I have.
Yeah, so it's '89 film, and he's fighting some crazy monster, plant monster from space. It was pretty
Okay.
solid though. This is a nutty. He's also wrecking havoc in the beginning. He's just wandering around this neighborhood blowing stuff up. So it's kind of a
Yeah,
nasty
that's one thing
demon
about Godzilla.
Godzilla.
Like a lot of his films, he's a hero of, but then some of them, he can be a complete dick in the beginning of them.
Yeah, he was a dick in this, man, and it just so happened that this space monster came through and was more of a dick than he was. So it's like, all right, we're gonna help Godzilla.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Let's deal with the monster that we know,
yeah,
kind of thing. Yeah, it's
yeah.
crazy,
Godzilla
man.
show up on, show up in Tokyo or somewhere and just start be like a
hmm
complete jerk about everything until like a monster slap him around or something, and
Yeah, it was crazy. I'm just watching, like, it opens up and he's just blasting his building for no reason. I'm like, dude, are you working on a construction site? Like, are you part of the crew? You demolishing this? Like, it's just, but it's in line with, that's my favorite. I don't like when he's like the pet, the friendly guy. Like, I don't know, man. Some of the stuff they did with him in the American movies is kind of annoying. But I'm like, bro, like he's supposed to be just wrecking stuff for no reason.
yeah,
But now there's other monsters. He's I can't wait till that part three comes out though, man. Because as wild as they got in that last Kongzilla movie, I can't even imagine what they're gonna do now. Like,
yeah.
like
It's off the
he
hook.
straight up
It's just
snuffed
what.
out that one monster just to power up. I was like, dude, this is crazy. That monster was not even, that monster was asleep. Wasn't hurting nobody. And then Godzilla swam in there and beat him up and stole his powers. I was like, yo, this is crazy, man. This is crazy. But yeah, I'm hyped for that, man. I don't know what year that's with the. There was a trailer though that's something that's coming out. I was looking into that. It's crazy, man. I hate how they do these teasers for a trailer now. Now the trailer got a trailer. Like, what are we doing? Like, there's a film called Primate that's coming out. So, and today I thought the trailer dropped, but it's just a teaser. It's like an audio call. But this one's supposed to be about a college student and her family's pet chimpanzee gets rabies and starts killing everybody. So, I really do want to see this film, but I think the real trailer is going to come out tomorrow. So,
Well, you do a teaser for a trailer when it's something anticipated, like like I understand like the next version of the next Avengers film, we get a teaser for a trailer,
okay, all right.
or yeah, you know what I'm saying. But something,
Yeah, but this is like this ain't even that. Like, let me just get it over with. Peel the band-aid off. Now, I'm watching the trailer, something that don't really show us nothing, and now I gotta wait till tomorrow. Like, just put the thing out already. Like you know what I'm saying? It's just like it's weird. I don't know. It's weird, dude. You gotta give me something, man, for my attention span these days. Like, give me something. Then there's a countdown. The trailer is coming out. I'm like, bro, what are we doing? All right, but they still have that show. Remember that show used to come on? That still coming attractions on the weekends, like Saturday night at like
no.
3 a.m.
That was what that was like one of my favorite things on E back in the day.
Yeah, I would
It'd just
watch
be
it if it was
it'd
on.
be a half hour trailers.
They can't even make up. They haven't even they can't make a profit off of that now, dude. Nobody watches TV. That's crazy.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think my theory, like 5, 10 years from now, it's gonna get like 3 a.m. It's gonna be like dun 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 dun, 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 like back in the day, because
Yeah,
nobody's
yeah,
watching. No,
yeah.
nobody's watching. MTV just announced that they're not playing music videos on their European channels no more. I'm like, yo, yeah, bro. World
Oh
is
yeah,
different.
they pretty much gave up music videos here a long time ago.
hmm Yeah, but that's
Unless,
crazy.
yeah, the last time I remember, was twice that I remember them in the last 20 years playing music videos. When
hmm
Prince passed and when Michael Jackson passed,
Yep.
both days they played.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. But I guess we could wrap this up, folks, man. We're gonna get out of here. I forgot to look and see what's coming out. I don't know what's big that's dropping this week, but
Black Phone is coming out Friday.
oh, Black Phone 2, yeah,
Yeah.
that looks really different than the original. I don't know what's happening with this, but people are saying that the buzz that I'm getting is that it's better than the original, but that looks like a totally different film, bro. Like this
Well, it
kid's
seems like he's becoming Freddy Krueger all of a
that's what I'm
sudden.
saying. Yeah,
Yeah,
with Freddy Krueger abilities, like just doing some crazy, like I don't know, man. I'm gonna watch it though, but we'll see. Yeah, it definitely does look like they making this guy go nuts now. Like I'm like, well, hold up, he's doing backflips and it's nuts, man. But we out of here,
yeah.
folks, man. Make sure you check out the channel, subscribe, tell your friends about us, turn on notifications. We're on Classes of Cinematics on Instagram. That's where you can find From the Candy Film Show and Classes of Cinematics content. We're also on TikTok. Check out Classes of Cinematics. We'll have, clips, maybe some trailers. I started putting trailers back on here too, man. If y'all want to see some stuff that's on our radar. So I have a playlist, activated for that. So,
Yeah, we're
keep
also on
an eye
YouTube,
on
right?
that. Yeah, YouTube. So that's where they're watching this at now.
Oh yeah.
I hope. But the audio feed is always up there too, man. I do upload this stuff to Spotify, but if you have a podcast app like Podcast Addict or any other app that goes directly to podcasts, just search either Kaiser Cinematics, that's going to give you that content, or From the Canopy Film Show, because those still have separate feeds for those.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. But if you want individual episodes, they're only on YouTube. So the audio version is going to be the uncut version of this show. So that's what you'll get if you go there. But you also can catch me at Monkey Blood on Twitter and Instagram.
I'm Cornelius Bros. You can find me on Facebook, Cornelius Bros, on Instagram, Cornelius Bros, on TikTok at Cornelius 1976, where I just watch videos.
That's what's up. We out here, folks, man. We're going to catch y'all next time.